It's April 26, 2023. This is part 2 of the Bradford simulation. My name is Tom Wheeler. I am the narrator. This is my contact information. If you have any questions or comments, please give me a call at 612-296-3398. Now I will click Finish, and the document assembly process has started up in the cloud or down low, and very soon I will be able to save a document set on my laptop in a folder called Bradford 2023, and then I will save it again as Tom's edit of the Bradford document set. So here is the document set that is raw. I will do save as Bradford raw document set, and then I will save it again as Tom's edit Bradford. On this Bradford video part 2, I think I will just go through rather quickly and not give a whole lot of verbal instruction, assuming that you have watched the Chilton video already. So here we go, scrolling down. There's line numbering. I'm not going to bother de-highlighting. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the beginning of the will and study the will. That's the table of contents. We'll come back to that later. The will is looking good. Right now I notice that I have not shown the paragraph symbols, but while I'm editing I like to show paragraph symbols. So now I went to View, Show Paragraph Symbols, clicking or unclicking this, displays or hides symbols, space, hard return, tab, etc. And right now it's set to show those to make it easy. The word Faribault is highlighted in red. It means that word is not recognized by the dictionary on my computer, so I'm going to skip that in this document. By right-clicking it, I'll delete unnecessary pieces, double check. The pour over clause looks good. I need to add a page break here, insert, new page, and then delete at the top of page 3. The nomination of person representatives looks good. I'm going to delete this language and the extra comma. Now it says it's 5 pages, and it all fit on 5 pages, so that's good. Self-approved will certificate. It looks like signing is in Hennepin County. If the client wants me to go to Faribault County to sign the documents, I will go. Control F, search for Hennepin. Replace Hennepin with Faribault. I will replace all instances of all caps Hennepin. 9 instances have been replaced. Close that. Go back to the line 512. Beginning of the will, the venue on the self-approved will certificate. Now here it says Faribault County. The witnesses are in there. That looks good. I do not want to delete. Reservation of rights, page 1 of the trust agreement. Looks good. Looks good. 3, 4. You're going to need a page break at line 912. Insert new page, and then delete the extra line at the top of page 5. De-highlight. De-highlight. Looks good. I like to add a line between and delete the outlining between the $50,000 specific distributions. The specific allocation of half of the farm to the farm son is there. The rest of the trust property is divided into equal shares, 4 equal shares for each of the 4 children. So the farm son would not only get half of the section of land, but he would also get 1/4 of the rest of the land. So that's all personal choice by the farmer. Add a line, delete the outlining. Cleaning it up. We want this to be a spendthrift trust, and we say so. Cleaning it up. Delete a couple of lines. Deleting some comments. Scrolling down, trustees' powers. Look good. Almost done with trustees' powers. Insurance provisions, merger and division, special elections, succession of trustees. William Jr., otherwise Joseph, otherwise Mercy. These trust protector provisions and trustee provisions as to the separate shares. Looks good. The special rights of first refusal. There is a precatory statement here that there's a desire that the trustee shall retain in trust and not sell any farmland. That's just a desire. However, here's the mandatory shall offer to the farm son a right of first refusal and at a 20% discount. And an enforceable right for that farmer running with the land, shall run with the land. That's the theory, that this will discourage any of the children from wanting to sell the farmland outside the family and will grant the farm son an opportunity to buy the land at a 20% discount from his siblings or the trustees of the shares for the benefit of his siblings. Similarly, an opportunity to rent the land is given to the farm son. With no discount, so fair rental value, so that the siblings get full rent. So this looks good so far, so good. I'll probably review it 5 more times before I print, but you can never review it too many times. There's always something. I'm not going to bother putting an address in for Mercy. It's not a requirement. She's in the process of moving, this imaginary daughter. The rest of this looks good. Again, I'll repeat, I hope you watch the Mary Chilton videos, part 1 and part 2, because a lot of the things that I'm skipping over here I addressed in those first 2 videos. I can pull these lines onto the preceding page with a little bit of effort. It might look better. The specimen signature of all attorneys, in fact, fits on page 3. Page 2, there is no footer on page 2. That's because there is a suppression code on page 2. Here on page 2, I put the cursor near the top of page 2 at line 1947, and I go to Format, Page, Suppress, and I'm looking for the footer A suppression code, and I'm going to uncheck it. That means it will not suppress that footer A. I say OK, and I go down and I see that the footer is there now. It's no longer suppressed. Page 2 has a footer, so does page 1, page 3, so forth. I de-highlight that before I print for sure. Notice to principal. I think if I remove this extra line on the top of that, it will pull that onto page 4 with the footer. That's good. Notice to the attorneys in fact is good, as the drafted by. And if I want to position the drafted by box on the lower left extreme, I can click on the box, right click the edge of the box. I don't edit the box or select the box, but I position the box, and I position it 0 inches from the bottom margin and 0 inches from the left margin. Common law power of attorney is fine. It's good. Might be helpful if this family acquires some land in other states. Authority to share information. Blank page, I leave it. Healthcare directive names all the children or the one or more of them reasonably available. No need for alternates. The 4 powers, A, B, C, and D. There's a little bit of a sweetener here as to HIPAA. It does purport to say effective immediately upon signing this, we are granting a right to have access to medical records. We try to clarify the intention of the signer that immediate access to medical records is desired. The statutory questions are here. We have them pre-answered. Doctor, we've printed in here intentionally blank. You can replace that by a blank line. The client might, during the signing meeting, decide to print the name of a doctor in there or not. Here's Blue Earth. That was a typo. I'm going to replace all instances of BLIE with a find replace. Replace all instances, 5 occurrences, and keep searching. 2 more occurrences. Okay. So I've searched the entire document for all instances where Blue Earth was misspelled. And I didn't notice it on the power of attorney, but the system found it. So those are all corrected. Back to the, go down to the, where I left off with the healthcare directive. signature page on the healthcare directive had a misspelling on Blue Earth. It was corrected now by find, replace. Tangible personal property instructions. Bill of sale, conveying tangible personal property to the trust. Incidentally, farm equipment and so forth, farm crops, farm fertilizer, farm supplies would be dealt with separately in dealing with the farm son. And we do not intend to use the separate written instructions for the farm property. The statute does not expressly exempt farm property, just property used in a trade or business, but farming is a business, is it not? So I'll leave that to you as the attorney for your client, how to handle farm equipment and farm tools and farm supplies and chemicals and fertilizer, all the inputs and so forth. Could be part of a buy-sell agreement. Could be part of a lifetime gift. The other documents here include a Schedule A for Faribault County, the section of land here. There's a Schedule A for the St. Louis County cabin, Government Lot 6, Lake Vermilion. There's a quitclaim deed here that's identifying Faribault County, and that's easy to change the word Faribault here to St. Louis County and use this deed printed for both instances of real estate. And if you had 6 pieces of land in Faribault County, you'd print, in my practice, 3 deeds per parcel, 3 deeds per separate legal description. If this farmer had 6 parcels of land with 6 legal descriptions, hopefully all ag homestead in Faribault County, I would ask him to sign 18 deeds. 3 times 6 is 18. 1 for him, 1 for me, and 1 for his successor trustee in an envelope kept separately but recordable after death. And of course you'd have to deal with the FSA if you're going to record during lifetime and inform them that the land is in a revocable living trust of this man and so forth. But such a deed is recordable post-mortem, at least under current Minnesota law. So in general, those so-called pocket deeds or unrecorded deeds seem to work just fine. And we want his land to be farm homestead, so we want him to live on the farm or within, I believe it's, I can't remember, 40 miles or 1 township away or something like that. But there's a limitation on the distance that the farming client can reside away from the farm. And we've even had a case where accidentally elderly 80-plus-year-old farm family moved into a nice home in town off the farm and claimed it as homestead, and we had to quickly undo that and reclaim ag homestead status for the rest of the property. A person cannot have 2 homesteads, you know that. And by the way, I think it was 1953, there was a Minnesota Attorney General's opinion that said if a person conveys residential homestead real estate into a trust that is a revocable living trust, that does not terminate homestead status, does not terminate homestead status. I've seen some blog posts to the contrary, and I invite everybody to look for that Attorney General's opinion that I used to have on my desk. This instruction letter looks good. It talks about transfer on death and pay on death for bank accounts or investment accounts. It talks about retirement accounts. It talks about life insurance and property casualty insurance. The certificate of trust looks good. An invoice, presumably in accordance with your agreement with this client for the time involved, the meetings involved, the scope, etc. Hourly rates, if you use hourly rates. This can be printed and used as a line for the notebook if your client wants a notebook. And that's the end of the review process. I will go back up to the top. I'll go to page 2. I will click on the beginning of the line numbering. Go back up to Format, Line, Numbering, and say Turn it off. Okay, I turned off line numbering. And now look at the will, for example. Go down, find the will. Or better yet, find this table of contents. I will go to View, Show Hide, Paragraph Symbols. And now doesn't that look cleaner? That's the way the documents would print, whether or not you conceal the paragraph symbols. The printer will not print those paragraph symbols in any event. And I find them useful when I'm editing to identify surplus lines or lack of a line. And here's the word vermeils that is not recognized by the dictionary. You may see it's underlined in red. So I'm going to right-click that and say skip in document. And now everywhere the word vermeils is spelled identically, it will not be highlighted in red. So there's the will. And so, for example, the names of the witnesses were not recognized. Skip. And here's the trust agreement. So I would think this is a printable, presentable document as is. I would review it 5 more times before printing prior to the signing meeting. And hopefully, oh, here's the word vermeils with a comma, so it was not, and Minnetonka was not recognized. So just so you know, you can keep an eye out for those highlighted red words that occasionally could be a misspelled word, like governing. If I put a S in the word governing, now it doesn't recognize it. You see, I misspelled it. So if we get rid of that S, the red underlining goes away. So there's a dictionary in the background that's looking for spell checking these common words. And once in a while, we can add a word to our dictionary that's not otherwise in the word processing system's default dictionary. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful time with your estate planning law practice. Please call me if you have any questions or comments. My name is Tom Wheeler. My phone number is 612-296-3398. And thank you very much for your time and attention. Oh yes, one more thing. If you are watching this on YouTube and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That may help me. And if you wish to follow me on YouTube, please click follow. And if you wish to subscribe to this channel, please click subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.